Hi, there it is, Lisa and Chris again, and today we have a topic that is important to people with disabilities. It is the American Disability Act. This year, which is 2015, is 25 years since the act was passed. You might be asking, what is so special about this act? Well, this act focuses on two major issues that people with disabilities face. They are transportation and employment. Without transportation, employment would be very difficult to achieve. I think the lawmakers put these together so both could be successful. If transportation was not included, how would people with disabilities get to work? Let's talk about transportation first. Public transportation has to be available for all people with disabilities. This includes buses, trains, airplanes, taxis, and etc. I think transportation has really stepped up to the plate in offering accessible methods of getting out in society. Transportation does not stop there. The act made sure that sidewalks, building entrances, and bathrooms are wheelchair-friendly. There is one small problem, and that is older buildings don't need to follow the act. To me, this is a problem because what do I do if I cannot get in? Yes, I understand that it would cost too much money to fix up, but isn't it our freedom to go where we please? Another idea that I have for these stores is to have a doorbell to have a person to come outside to talk to you. Another issue that we often face with fairly new buildings is the door does not open by itself. We can wait for a few minutes before someone opens the door for us. An electronic door opener is not too expensive. Isn't that a violation of the act, especially when the building was built after the American Disability Act was passed? To me, it should put in the budget when the building was designed. Another thing that was put in the act was employment. People with disabilities should be able to get a job. The company should make the necessary accommodations so people with disabilities can work. There is a tax break when a company hires a person with a disability. This tax break never talked about in the media or in public. I worked for 14 years until 2009. For the last 6 years, I have been trying to get a job and no luck. This gets me so frustrated just knowing the company can receive a tax break if they hire me. This just blows my mind. In 2010, Congress amended the act so that more people can fit under the act. The act covers people who are not only physically but mentally disabled and has an illness that will be with the person for the rest of their lives. This sounds great and dandy, but I feel the companies and corporations have to re-educate themselves about the act and revisit their policies to make sure they're doing what the act covers. I had a few interviews that I thought they were not fair. This is just my own opinion. Lisa, what do you think about the American Disability Act?
Well, Chris, that's a really good question. Because with the American Disabilities Act, it really has helped us be more social, but there are limits to the act because some of the buildings don't really follow with these rules. Even though they think society thinks as long as we can get in the building, it's accessible. But that's not the case. Most of the time we can't get in the building if it's not a push button door. And we want to be independent, so how do we do it independently without help? So that's the act really has helped us socially, but not business-like ways. You know, it has really helped us in many different aspects, but not in the business sense, because they don't really focus on the disability. they focus on how can we shut this person up, or how do we make her not, or we don't want to cause trouble, so we'll just do it to say, okay, we'll try. But realistically, it's a company, so they really just do it to appease us, but they really don't do anything about it. Sometimes they really feel guilty and they try to help us, but it all comes down to how much money is a person willing to work over. Yes, I agree. They should put it in the budget for upcoming events. We have a couple restaurants around our neighborhood that said they were going to put push button doors in the places, but they always say, oh, we've talked to corporate, they're working on it. So there's nothing much we can do. I just really hope that this act will be more accessible and more talked about and more available for people like Chris and I to get jobs, and that's why it's in place. But it really doesn't work as well as it should because people don't understand yet about people with disabilities. They're not educated yet. And that's why we do these kind of vignettes to show you that there are things like this out there. So we just want to express that we appreciate the Americans with Disabilities Act, because if we didn't have it, we wouldn't have places like Catherine Manor or people that care about us and people that are passionate, but there's still a lot of society that doesn't understand about people with disabilities. All we're saying is this: we want opportunity and chance. Equal opportunity, equal chance. So that's how I feel about the Americans with Disabilities. And in my life, it has opened many doors for me. Well, I have my advocacy job, and without that, I wouldn't be able to get into the buildings that I can get into. So I applaud it, but it still needs a lot of work. So as of now, we would just like to let our audience know we have 47 subscribers and we always need more. Please, 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 please watch. It's really fun. Signing off, Lisa and Chris.